Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the Zenith Chronomaster El Primero, the most traditional of the watch lines currently offered by Zenith of Lulloch, Switzerland. The watch is 42 millimeters in stainless steel. It measures 13.2 millimeters thick from lug to lug, 50.8 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on my wrist, 16 centimeters circumference. You can see it's got a big footprint. It's a large watch. I would recommend it for a wrist 15 centimeters in circumference or larger. Here you can see the over the top. Here you can see the cuff shot. It slides easily under a dress cuff. It's actually nicely matched to a shirt sleeve. And then you can see the down the barrel, and it's right up at the edges of my wrist. Again, I think 15 centimeters is the lower limit. My wrist, oval in shape, flat across the top, is 16. The bracelet is beautifully built. It has a conforming end length that creates a nice integrated all-of-a-piece look between bracelet and case. But then you can see that each individual link is countersunk into the next one, which creates a lovely seamless aesthetic. You can also appreciate that it's nicely finished with polished centers, satin shoulders, polished outer faces, and every single link on both sides is removable, so you're gonna get the right size. The clasp is a double fold, and you can see it's not sequential closing. Either side can close first. Twin trigger release, polished internally. It's a good looking, solid, and reliable clasp. It's also curved to match the curved underside of your wrist. The case is simple but strong. This is the Chronomaster shape, which is designed to be the most traditional in a world of day-fies. As you can see, it's got a lovely form as the lugs are integrated. They're not stepped out from the case band, but all of them meld together. The case band is polished, and as you can see, it has a complex curvature about it that scatters light in interesting ways. The underside of the lugs are polished, the bevel along the edge polished, and then the tips of the lug hoods are satin finished for contrast. The bezel is very minimal. As you can see, it's almost flat with a shallow conical profile, high polish, and it abuts a box section sapphire designed to evoke a vintage plexiglass again. Dial and case, this is the most, shall I say, nostalgically oriented of the regular offerings in the Zenith catalog. Now on the crown side, you have the Zenith crown with the Zenith Star. You have pump style pushers, again, vintage inspired. You have a little kerf underneath the crown so you can more easily dig your nail in to pull the crown out and start setting the watch. The dial is simple but strong. You've got a tachymeter outboard that you can use in conjunction with chronograph seconds to gauge the speed of, for example, a race car over a mile or kilometer. Because it's calibrated between 500 and 60, you're probably not going to be timing anything terribly slow, and certainly not a track meet, but it's a fun refinement and it looks sporty. You can see there is a black lacquered minutes and seconds track, so that's right underneath the individual cantilevered applique steel rhodium plated indices. Those are, of course, three-dimensional, adding height and a premium appearance to the dial. This is not a printed dial, and they're loomed, and you'll see that later. There is a stepped facet to the date down at 6 o'clock, and the date replaces an index. You can see that the step gently transitions from the dial down to the disc, so it's not a sheer cut through the dial. The individual registers, this is another nod to history, circa 1969. 3 different colors, each one sunken into the dial with a little bit of overlap. And you can see that the much derided loss of the minute scale has been rectified here, as you can easily read chronograph hours and chronograph minutes at the same time. There's a red varnished seconds hand with the hollowed Zenith Star logo as the counterweight, and then the dial base itself is a silver sunburst. The watch does feature a quick set for the date, and the El Primero is quirky. You pull the crown out all the way to the second stop, and now you can set the date. The watch doesn't feature hacking seconds, but it has almost every other refinement which you could desire. Automatic winding, bidirectional, 52-hour power reserve, 36,000 vibration per hour beat rate, and it has a lovely column wheel lateral clutch operation that is big, visible, handsome, and I've always said the El Primero is a good-looking automatic. That continues here. Satin finish on the steel components of the chronograph. You can see the same finish on the golden wheels themselves. There's also engine turning on the bridges and Côte de Genève on the rotor, so the finish on this watch is a little bit unconventional. It's specific to the El Primero. Most movements do not feature engine turning on bridges. All of this is 100 meters water resistant. It pivots on 31 joules, which is the traditional El Primero count. And the timepiece is quite simply lovely, historically important. This is one of the most wearable, handsome, and in my opinion, enduring of the current Zenith designs. Since the El Primero was the first integrated high-beat automatic chronograph back in 1969, and it is now more than 50 years into its reign as the king of chronographs, it's nice to have it in a design that's built to go the distance. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And I'm back with the Zenith Chronomaster El Primero in stainless steel.